What's going on, Jeromes? So one of the reasons why the Minnesota Vikings are short on draft picks this year is because they used a lot of the 2025 draft picks in 2024 to maneuver and get Diamond Dallas Turner, the pride of Alabama, Roll Tide. Right. So, and again, we just need him to do the diamond cutter. I know it's probably copyright infringement. DDT probably going to sue DDT. Don't care. Just do it as a sack dance one time, man. Right. And I understand. People were sort of underwhelmed by Turner's rookie season. 310 defensive snaps, about a quarter of the Vikings' defensive snaps, 12 pressures, 3 sacks, 20 tackles, 5 QB hits, 55 covered snaps, 1 pick, 50.8 quarterback rating, 235 special team snaps, 3 penalties. And I get that people bitch and moan like, hey, Jared Verse, you could have had Jared Verse. Well, Jared Verse wouldn't have played the same role on defense as Diamond Dallas Turner does. Plus, Turner on the fly, learning one of the more complicated defenses in the National Football League of Brian Flores, plus behind AVG, Pro Bowl starter, as well as Jonathan Grenard, Pro Bowl starter. Both of them should have been all pros, but AVG got in there, right? But again, the comparisons, like, well, first off, Jared Verse was a Pro Bowler and he had 4.5 sacks, which is kind of ridiculous on its face. Anyways, but also we made this point a bunch. Physical development, physical peak. Jared Verse came in as a 24-year-old rookie. Right? He's going to be 25 in November, and Diamond Dallas Turner isn't going to be 25 until 2028, the year of his fifth-year option. So, it'll be fine. Hey, let's see where Turner is in 3 years, and then we'll compare and contrast. We'll do that. But, again, I understand that, hey, we want everything now, especially since he did give up a lot of draft capital to go get him. And like we said, Turner is the reason why the Vikings don't have a ton of mid-round draft picks because they traded him to Houston, then the Jaguars to go get him. But his contribution going into the future, it's going to be fine. It's going to be legit. Tranquillo, because Turner has got the traits. He's got the physical tools and adding weight, learning the Flores scheme, learning to drop in coverage more. Everything's going to be good to go. Long story longer, over at The Athletic, Alec Lewis, what I expect the Vikings NFL Combine, mostly talking about Darnold, but a nice little section about Diamond Dallas Turner. Feedback on Turner. One NFC evaluator whose team considered drafting edge rusher Dallas Turner last year laughed when asked about having any concerns following Turner's quiet rookie season. None at all, they said. I think of him like Nolan Smith of the Eagles. The comparison rose in other conversations about Turner as well. Both Smith and Turner possess elite athletic traits. They were drafted young when Smith was coming out of Georgia. They came from high-end programs in the Southeast Conference, and neither had any character-related concerns. It's fascinating to assess the rookie season side by side. Here's a snapshot. So Nolan Smith back in the day versus Diamond Dallas Turner. Turner had more snaps. Turner had more sacks. Turner had pass rush win rate and all that stuff, right? So blah, 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 blah. Basically, I mean, there was chatter that Nolan Smith, boo, especially in Philly. It's tough. Boo. He's a bust. Boo. And then this year, Smith tallied 11 sacks in the second season. 4 of them came during the Eagles Super Bowl run. Basically, like, Nolan Smith was good to go. They had 2 sacks against the Packers in the wild card and was a huge contributor down the stretch. And basically, he's the only Eagle who didn't have a sack in the Chiefs game in the Super Bowl. Basically, yeah. But Smith really came along in year 2, and that's what happens when you give players time, especially young players time to develop into the soup. The NFC evaluator believes Turner's sophomore season could be similar, even if he's finding his footing early in the 2025 season. A breakout could come down the stretch. One team, South, expects Turner to arrive in exceptional condition for spring and summer workouts, hungry to prove he can contribute beyond his 300 snaps in 2024. The Viking staff also shoulders some responsibility to continue developing Turner. Refining secondary moves is critical for edge rushers like he and Smith, who cannot rely solely win on power. What stood out about Turner and J.J. McCarthy, especially in training camp, is that Turner was always next to Pettin. Pettin, outside linebackers, edge rushing coach, assistant head coach, and he was always looking for feedback, just bugging the bejesus out of the coaching staff, right? And as a rookie, he had to find ways to work smarter, not harder. And I know people talked about a lot about Flores saying that he had to have a conversation with Turner. It wasn't about working hard. It was about working more efficiently versus just crushing yourself in the weight room, blah, blah, blah. But there's other ways to go about it, especially in a longer season. And that is a big jump from college football to the NFL. It is a longer season. Well, maybe not so much anymore if you make a run in the playoffs. Yeah. But with Turner, I got no worries at all, right? So, yeah, rookie season was a little bit slow, but for all the reasons we talked about, young player transitioning on defense into more of a off-ball coverage role, as well as stuck behind AVG and Grenard, stuck in a good way. But when on the field and when given run, like, he was productive. So still got 3 sacks in a very quiet rookie year. At least he didn't get shut out. Yeah, but we as fans, short for fanatics, want everything now. But it is good to see that evaluators see the forest through the trees and just say, hey, sometimes, players with this background, like, it does take a little while for them to get started. And, Nolan Smith is a clear example of that, and obviously had a monster year for the Eagles, winning Super Bowl in year 2. And hopefully Diamond Dallas Turner has something similar to that in his year 2 in 2025. But your thoughts are thoughts. The Athletic, no concern about Diamond Dallas Turner. Let us know, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.